Hey everybody, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. We are doing a design team project for Not2Shabby, and there is your coupon code Mary10 for 10% off your order over at the shop. Not2Shabby had a new release recently, and I love every single set, I have to tell you. Now, this card may seem like I'm neglecting a lot of those beautiful images you just saw, but fear not, I shall return with many more projects with these stamp sets. But this flower, for some reason, and I have no idea why, just was speaking to me. I was like, you need to make a card. I think I'm getting into florals, which, looking back into my past videos over my YouTube channel, there are not many floral videos in there. But because I want to learn how to watercolor, I've been using a lot of florals lately, whether it be in my coloring book or on stamps. So I saw this set and I went right to the flower. So strange. But anyway, I decided that I wanted to stamp this out multiple times on my card. I'm using some Holtz watercolor paper, and I am using VersaFine Clair ink. This is a waterproof ink and also gives me very good stamped images. So it is a little unnerving to stamp onto watercolor paper because it's a little grainy and you might not get a perfect image. But I wasn't about to pull out a stamp positioner for this business because that to me is just too much work. So I took my chances and I went for it. And I think this is the second attempt, so let's be real. I think I did make some mistakes on the first one, but that's okay. And you can always fill them in with a waterproof liner if you make any boo-boos. So the coloring for this card is super simple. This was just me sitting down with my water brush with some zig colors. I scribbled those zig colors off to the side of my glass mat here, right where that area is that you can, it's like white, so you can actually see the colors that you're using, so that's helpful. And I'm just adding them in, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to speed up the process a little bit here. But you can, the great thing about this is, and why I like practicing watercoloring on flowers, is because nothing has to be perfect. There is no flower out there that is like, well, I shouldn't say there is no, because I don't know, I'm not a botanist. However, I can guess that a lot of flowers have multiple colors, and they're multifaceted, and there's lots of shading when you look at them. And so there's no, it's just art, you know, just go with it and just drop color in. And as I'm doing this, I'm realizing, okay, I want a little more yellow here, a little more pink there. And so it's just a little bit easy and a fun way to kind of just practice and play. And that's what I did, and I'm having fun with it. I'm not letting watercoloring stress me out. I'm never, ever letting crafting stress me out, to be quite honest, because that will defeat the entire purpose of this for me. I come to my craft space and to my area to get away and to relax and forget the stresses of daily life. And, you know, especially the last couple weeks, it's been a doozy. So I'm needing my craft area, and so the last thing I want to do is place undue pressure upon myself as I sit down to try to make something. So I will not do that. I do design, obviously. This is a design team project, but I design for a few companies. And I remember my daughter, because I asked my daughter, or I was talking to her about something, and I was like, well, I have to make this card. And she's like, well, isn't it becoming unfun because you have to do it? And I was like, boy, that's a good question. and it's all pretty serendipitous because I just recently watched a video from Lindsay the Frugal Crafter, and she was talking about this exact topic, which was sometimes you feel pressures to get things done. Does it take away the joy of it? And as of right now, I'm not there yet. Like, even though I have to do something, I still find great joy in what I'm doing. So I look forward to it. In fact, it is deliberate cut out time for me to go have some me time. And I feel like I need to keep that. And so I appreciate that. I actually like being on design teams because of that. It gives me that, hey, you got to get to your craft desk. You've been neglecting yourself. Get over there. Get this done. And so I really appreciate that facet of it. But great question from her, though. You know, it's important. You got to make sure you don't get too much in the grind where you start losing joy from what you initially love. So, okay, so back to the card here. I am going to use some Distress Oxide just around there. You saw that I masked those back off again. And I did use some Post-it full stick sheets for this because when I stamp them, I can actually pull up 2 or 3 sheets of that and cut them out all at once, and then you save yourself time. So that's a good little trick just to, you know, for time saving. So one thing I will say about Post-it sticks is if you're gonna mask a lot of things, be careful because eventually the ink is gonna bleed through. So maybe 2 or 3 goes at it and then toss them. So I'm doing the reveal here. So now we have that blue background, and we have, you could see on the left-hand side there, I cut from a Lawn Fawn border die some grass and just colored that up in some Twisted Citron ink, and that's going to be our grass. I love that die because it just really adds, it's just realistic looking grass. So pretty. And then I'm going to do some hand drawing here just to make some stems. There is nothing super fancy about what I'm doing. I am just adding so they don't look like they're floating in the air. And that's it. And then we get that done. I like to work with pencil because if you watched a recent video of mine, when I made a balloon string, my hand obviously wanted to do something crazy, and my balloon string looked nuts. So I had to erase it and do it again. So pencil is nice for that. I'm going to add some Elmer's glue all to my grass here. I was going to put it on the edge of the grass, like the little pieces sticking up, but then I was like, no, that's a little bit too difficult. So I'm just going to have the bottom stick. It's okay if those little grass pieces kind of flip up. That's fine with me. So I placed that down, and then I'm going to pull out a sentiment that I have pre-made from my stash, and that's it. And I'm going to say, you are all kinds of awesome. I go back in for this card, and I am going to add some Nuvo Sparkle Pen. I never remember the exact names of these pens. You have Spectrum Noir, you have Winkostella, there's Nuvo. It's a sparkle pen, and we're just going to go with that. And then if you want the specific one I used, it'll be below in the description. But again, not stressing myself out about names. I probably should just have a cheat sheet next to my desk, which I'll probably do that in the future. I'm going to score my Nino 110, and I'm going to use my bone folder to crease that, because if you just try to fold that willy-nilly, you're going to get all kinds of creases. So I'm going to add some more of this glue all. I'm happy with this glue. This glue has been sticking. I did my glue review. It made one of the top 4. It's been working really well. So now that it's in operations, we can see it, and I'm pretty happy with it. So, and it's a very good price point too. And that's a good thing. We like to save money. At the end of this card, I actually went back and I already took the pictures and I already uploaded and everything was good to go. But I will tell you that this card is great just the way it is. I think it's just simple. However, I did add some of the dewdrops. They're like little circle, they have flat ends so they lay on your card, but I added some dewdrops there. And so that kind of gave like a realistic little water effect. And you can add clear Nuvo drops to it. You could do whatever you want. But those are some of the accents that I added. But then this final touch here was this little butterfly, because I could not part with my butterfly punch, because I said to myself, you are going to use that butterfly punch in the future. Do not get rid of it. And so I looked over and saw it staring at me like, hello, you promised me. And so I pulled it out and I cut out some shimmer cardstock, and there we had that cute little butterfly accent. There's the card. So that's it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and for seeing this use of one of these small stamps. I will say this picture kind of washes out the color a little bit on the flowers. They are a lot more pink and orange in there. But that'll do it. So thank you again. I'll list everything I use below. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss anything from me. Again, your coupon code is Mary10 over at the shop. Go check it out. And we will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.